Hey guys, how you doing? We're talking about genetics again. When you clicked on genetic predilection, I wanted to discount the necessity that genetics is the deciding and only factor, or the deciding factor if you're going to make progress, getting bigger, stronger, and so forth. Will some people always have an advantage? Most likely. But can a person who has no genetic propensity or predilection towards getting bigger and stronger, is that impossible? No, it is not. In fact, many years ago, long before I studied anatomy and physiology, I theorized that I didn't theorize, I was told by science from reading that we have different muscle fiber types in skeletal muscles. That at the time there was fast twitch, slow twitch. Later on we heard that there was fast twitch, like a sprinter, running 100 meters, doing a high jump, boom. And then there was the guys doing the 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 meter in a minute and a half. They had the fast twitch, fatigue resistant fast twitch muscle fibers. Then you had the slow twitch, the guys in the oxidative system going all day long, running and swimming and so forth. It was once thought that our ratios was fixed, that you were either a marathon runner or you were going to be a powerlifter or a bodybuilder. Now, one thing to state is that there's slow twitch muscle fibers do not get affected that much. They don't experience much hypertrophy, getting bigger. The muscles that are prone to hypertrophy are the fast twitch muscle fibers, both the fast twitch 1s and the fast X's and the fast twitch 2s. I think we got it right here. I think I have it right here. So, yeah, fast twitch type 1, that is a slow twitch, all right? Type 2A, fast twitch. Type 2B, really fast twitch, okay? So, basically, the type 2B, as opposed to the type 2A or the type 2X's, are the ones like Usain Bolt. 90% of his muscle fibers may be that. Well, it was thought that those were fixed. You were born with that. You couldn't improve or increase the amount of any one muscle fiber by any form of exercise or lack of exercise or eating. That was considered a fact. Well, guess what? I never believed it. That was part of my wish list. I had no real scientific basis for it. And at the very best, I thought even if you couldn't change it, maybe I could make all of what I have, the ratios of what I have, as efficient as possible and make them every single to the man or to the fiber of the type 2As and the type 2Bs be as efficient and contracting as quickly and as forcibly and as completely as possible at a given command, and do the same with the slow twitch. And I wanted the slow twitch muscle fibers to act like fast twitch and vice versa. Well, over the years, when I took anatomy and physiology, and by my training and training other people, more and more I started believing and seeing evidence that quite possibly that could be changed. A couple of years ago, when I went to school to get my college degree, the evidence was still, according to many physiology professors, that wasn't the case, even though a lot of the books that we were studying would state otherwise. Okay, they said that over time, that as a person like myself who gets older, you start getting your ratio from what becomes your muscle fibers can go from fast twitch to slow twitch, but not vice versa, ever. And so my question was, well, if you're going to take what are these guys who take steroids? They get bigger, they get stronger, and it has to do with male hormones. If I lose muscle fiber type 2A and type 2B, and they convert to slow twitch, it's because my testosterone is level, according to the studies. Well, what if I took a testosterone replacement therapy? What about those guys who could never seem to get big no matter what training program they're on, who took a shitload of steroids? So, something's changing, something's working, right? Then later on, they showed these spinal cord injured people who got injured and were couch bound, bed bound. They already specified ahead of time that they had so many slow twitch, fast twitch muscle fibers and so forth. All of a sudden, those ratios changed from slow. A lot of the slow twitch muscle fibers and the type 2As turned into type 2Bs or type 2Xs. A large percentage of them, these guys weren't even training. And it didn't matter what their testosterone level was. So again, that shows it went from slow or fast twitch, fatigue resistant to fast twitch. I don't know why. The brain has something to do with it. The nervous system has something to do with it. Must be some survival compensating mechanism. I don't know. But clearly, muscle fibers can change. Then there's others who kind of like to sit on the fence, say, well, the muscle fibers don't actually change. They develop the characteristics of the other types of muscle fibers. Well, you know what? You give me a Volkswagen, take out the engine, put in a Maserati or Lamborghini engine with the suspension. It's still a Volkswagen, but now has the characteristics of a high-powered, fast. I don't care. It's now acting and performing in the way that I want. So, to add more to my argument, to my belief, my theory, Tim Ferriss, the guy who wrote the 4-hour or 5-hour body, very analytical guy. He's doing what I've always wanted to do. I've done to a minor degree, but he's been able to do it because they have a lot of high-tech lab work stuff that can be done now. They got home biometric equipment like the Fitbit, all sorts of nifty, expensive devices. Well, he had his DNA checked out, and they found out that he was in the bottom of the barrel. He lost the lottery when it came to having any fast twitch muscle fibers of either type A, type B. He was slow twitch. They say you make a fine runner. You make a fine long distance runner, long distance swimmers, long distance cyclists. But Tim wanted to be bigger. He wanted to be stronger. And they said, sorry, you just don't have the DNA. You don't have the genetics. Well, he got his muscles biopsied to check if that was true. Guess what? It confirmed what his DNA test said. Dude, you're all slow twitch. You don't have any fast twitch. Well, he decides to go on a special eating program. This is without drugs. He goes on an eating program, and he goes on a special training program. And he gains all this muscle. Loses body fat. And we're talking a substantial amount of muscle that some people would consider as impossible without steroids. Me, knowing what specific training can do, have seen time and again, even for older people, how much muscle you can put on without steroids. So I believe that part of it. But that begged the question. If fast twitch muscle fibers were supposedly the only ones that were to get bigger, and he had all nothing but slow twitch, did that mean that the slow twitch muscle fibers actually got bigger? Which would be kind of cool in a way too. No. He got rebiopsied. 9 months after he started this training, found that he converted to where 60% of his body, skeletal muscles, were fast twitch, fatigue resistant muscle fibers. Wow! That's huge. So evidently, he changed certain genetic expressions, the way the genes express themselves. So don't lose hope. If you look in the pictures of me when I was skinny, of my friend Phoenix, who used to be skinny, and he started late in life. These are guys that didn't take steroids, and they made some amazing changes. So I believe that anybody could get big and get ripped, regardless of their genetics, unless they have some weird genetic defect or some sort of some cancer or something like that. So, and that's one thing that you should check out. Okay, so in the next vid, what are we going to talk about in the next vid? We're going to talk about peer review, because this is something that should be talked about, and we'll check on that in the next section. See you in the next vid.